Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special TechRaptor predictions discussion. I am social lead Christian Buckley. Joining me is,
Andrew Stretch, Pokemon Master. Great to be here.
yeah, absolutely great to be talking with you about Pokemon again. It's been a minute. We did some discussions around Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and now, as of this very moment, Wednesday, February 22nd, 3:51 p.m. EST, we are days away from the celebration of Pokemon yearly celebration that is Pokemon Day.
Now, so we know that Pokemon Day is February 27th. I actually don't know why it's 27th. Is that just the anniversary, or do they do something fun in universe?
So I don't think there's anything in universe, but I do know the 27th is the original Japanese release date of Red and
Okay.
Green. So
So it's not like March 10th, which is Mario Day, that like there's a tie there. This is a anniversary. Well, happy anniversary, Pokemon.
happy anniversary indeed. They'll be celebrating 26th this year. 27?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's nuts. Pokemon's as old as me. I'm gonna be 26 in April, so that's fun.
Oh, and in that moment, everyone withered away to dust. Thanks.
Well, let's reconvene. Let's pull a Zeus and restructure you into Princess Diana Wonder Woman and make you excited about it again. Because Pokemon Day is always
I
full
thought
of
you were
exciting
going Disney
news.
Hercules there. I did not expect the Wonder Woman reference.
Oh no, yeah. Well, because the thing is, I said Princess Diana. I was like, is that right? Because I know like there's an actual Princess Diana.
Okay, we can edit it in post. That's fine.
Yeah. Well, much like that awful segue, Pokemon is always full of some fun, weird connections to our mythology that we live in every day. And Pokemon Day could celebrate that. Pokemon Day could celebrate lots of different aspects of the franchise. But one thing everybody is expecting out of this Pokemon Day, Pokemon Presents, is the presentation that will be happening early in the morning, 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern, East Coast, Best Coast. Sorry for the people who got to wake up real early for this. But it's going to be, what, a 25-minute show?
25-minute show that will focus on, I believe, mostly games. I'm not sure that we'll see much out of the anime or trading card game from there. Maybe little bits and pieces, but I mean, there's the whole day is going to be dropping announcements. So if you're a Pokemon fan, be ready.
Yeah, for sure. So I think the thing to start with is the thing that the odds are most in favor of looking at past
hmm
Pokemon Presents, which Joe over at Serby noted that this is going to be one of the longer Pokemon Presents in recent memory. So uh, by a decent margin as well. I think the average of the past few Februarys and other like notable Pokemon presentations cap off around like 13, like late teens, is a couple 20s.
Jesus, that shows how dedicated the fan base is. It's like, oh, we get another 13 minutes of content. Hit me up.
Yeah. So this time though, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet will most likely be showcasing at least one piece of downloadable content that is not just a Terror Raid, because Sword and Shield introduced the expansion pack with the two big expansions, and everybody's assuming Scarlet and Violet's going to do that again.
Yeah, definitely. I put on my guaranteed list of things. If it is going to be a two-parter, then I'm sure we'll get like, a nice trailer showing off the first part, and then with a tease of what's more to come.
Mm-hmm.
They'll bundle DLC together. I also definitely think that we will see the home connectivity dates for
Sure.
Scarlet and Violet. That would not be something that I would be surprised does not get shadow dropped.
Mm.
Just like you can go transfer whatever you want now.
Yeah, I think that's probably a fair assumption because I think what did they say like spring for that, and we're kind of there
Yeah, something like that.
almost.
Or
So
maybe a few months out.
yeah, but the
We'll
th-
know.
the thing is, I understand why the internet is so excited to see what's next for Scarlet and Violet because for a lot of people that got back into the franchise with that one, like it was just very creative in terms of breaking open the Pokemon formula. For me though, I'm quite curious to see if they talk about performance updates.
Yeah, I reckon we will hear a whole bunch about an update. My guess is that anything performance related will get relegated to release notes that they try to hide underneath a rug in some unused house data that has been found in the game.
Yeah, I think that's likely. I think at best, maybe like you get somebody from the Pokemon company sitting at their desk with all the plushies behind them being like, thank you for the success. We're excited to continue updates for the game. And like the classic, we hear you, like I think we'll
Yeah.
probably get something like that. And then, like you said, no like specifics in even patch notes. It's
Mhm.
just gonna be like, things are better. It's like, are they? How much better? So, in terms of what else they could show with Scarlet and Violet, is there any other specifics you think could be shown off at this Pokemon Presents?
I don't think there's much more with Scarlet and Violet per se. We may get what the next Terra raid will be, and like kind of the general shop talk of what is now like something that we could probably call a light service game that we will hear about when the next season of the competitive scene is, or what any special rules may be. If it times in with the opening of Pokemon Home, then it may be that we see far less restrictions.
Yeah, I think for sure we're probably going to get an announcement of the next Terra raid at the event. And you mentioned you saw that there's a weird
Yeah,
turnover with this one.
Yeah, it turns out that while terror raids normally end up at about midnight, to roll into the next event, this one for some strange reason is going to be ending an hour after. This is the current one is ending an hour after the direct ends. So chances are there will be some kind of big announcement, maybe something that people have been like really really yearning for. I know that there have been people chattering about sprites for mega Pokemon showing up in certain databases, or even whether it's just going to be something that people have been asking for, like a Battle Bond Greninja, um, especially with the 3DS shutting down.
Hmm.
Where within our last month of being able to even get the Battle Bond Greninja that turns into Ash Greninja legally.
Yeah. I hate to be somebody who rains on a parade, but my guess, my guess that I'd probably put money on is
Hmm.
that there's going to be a Terra event that begins immediately after the presentation or like within the hour, like whenever the
Yeah.
turnover happens. And it's going to be, hey, Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur are all featured Terra raids this week. Get in there, get
Well,
your special ones.
they have already done Charizard.
Okay, well, he's back, and then you can do the other two.
Or at least like they might do the next one. Like this might be Bulbasaur. Interestingly enough, in that trailer for Pokemon Day, it does open with like the Gen 1 sprites
Hmm.
of the first 18 Pokemon shifting through, which again is just leading to more speculation.
Yeah. So why don't we lean into that? That's pretty much all there is on Scarlet and Violet, which I'm excited. I want to get back into the game. I'd love to see something new, even if it is just a new Terra battle, and I'll get into it for the spirit on that day.
Mhm.
But that video announcement had some sound effects from the opening of Red and Blue. What I noticed was the end of that little brief video featured like a splash screen full of balloons. And Stretch, these balloons were red, blue, and yellow.
I'm that could definitely be something. It could also just be, again, pointing to the fact that this is the anniversary of
It could be.
Gen 1. Or
It
I guess
could,
yellow wouldn't be there if it was
because
truly,
because
yeah,
where's the green? Where's the green balloons? Where it originated. If the date is the date because it's the Japanese release, where's the green balloons?
that's true. That's very true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much going on that people are speculating about.
Yeah.
Some of the things that, we do think are more likely, Pokemon Stadium and Stadium 2 are going to
Yes,
get shadow dropped.
I agree.
I think most people would agree on that. And then some sleuthing in the code of the site has found that there is copyright for Spike Chunsoft, who has only ever worked on new Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games. I was hoping to get some other kind of a Pokemon spin-off. Would love a new Pokemon Legends announcement. Would love even just DLC for Arceus.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but if they do show a new Pokemon spin-off, like they have been doing pretty historically, it was Legends Arceus and Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl that were the last ones. So I would not be surprised if instead of getting a new Pokemon spin-off, it's going to be a new Mystery Dungeon game that gets announced.
Yeah, Mystery Dungeon's always been a cool thing. I've only ever tried one of them, but I'm always down to give it another go, especially if this is a new one. Like they're moving forward with the series, not a remake like the previous one we got. Um, so I'd definitely be curious and interested in checking that out. But I'm with you. I love a lot of Pokemon spinoffs that feel like they're dead, you know? Like, um, I know the DNA of these games are kind of moot now that we have full blown 3D RPGs, but I love Pokemon Coliseum. That was one of my favorite GameCube games as a kid. Um,
Hmm.
and I know because of the hardware, it's probably impossible, but I loved Pokemon Ranger as well. I thought that was a super cool game.
Yeah, that's probably the one that I will say, unless we get something very dedicated peripheral for it, I don't want to see Ranger coming back. That thing chewed up my touchscreen back in the day.
So, what if, walk with me here, Pokemon Ranger, but it plays like Astral Chain?
I've not played Astral Chain yet,
Okay.
so you'll need to describe how they could get those repetitive spinning mechanics where you need to encircle a Charizard 50 times to catch it.
So I also have not played Astral Chain, but the mechanic that is so central to that is you're capturing monsters by doing like platinum combat moves and like taking a literal chain, hooking them, and then like running around them with your combo to like capture
Okay.
them, and then they like fight with you.
Yeah, I could definitely see them updating the mechanic. I mean, we've
Yeah.
seen The World Ends with You go from being touchscreen
Mhm.
to not. So, we can hope that we can figure something out here.
Yeah. But I think you're right. It's probably going to be Pokemon Mystery Dungeon in some capacity based off of the very damning evidence that exists for that
Yeah.
currently. Um, as cool as it would be to see like a new take on Let's Go, I don't think it's time for black and white remakes. It feels like this is gonna be a bunch of known quantities. Am I wrong?
No, it well, I mean, it does. I mean, hell, we may finally see more about Pokemon Sleep. I mean, that's something that we heard about. I still don't understand the concept of it
Hmm.
from the 30 seconds that they spoke about it. But that might come in as a bit of a surprise out of nowhere. But yeah, for the most part, I think that without going too outlandish, people are pretty set to get the stuff that we discussed for Scarlet and Violet,
Hmm.
Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, and Pokemon Stadium and Stadium 2 in
Hmm.
NSO.
Now, what would you put the likelihood of getting an old mainline game on NSO, be it the Game Boy ones or like Fire Red Leaf Green on the GBA? Because that one is like you got to pay up for that tier, you know, and maybe they value
Hmm.
Pokemon to be higher than just like the basic entry level. Like, do they list Red, Blue, Yellow standalone on the eShop? Like, do you think there's a likely outcome there for one of those?
I'm so sure that we're gonna get it. How we get it, though, I think is going to be the more interesting question. Whether it will be the standard Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance split. I think that um, knowing that there would need to be some kind of factoring in for Pokemon Home connectivity, my guess is that like a Pokemon Game Boy collection might come as like an NSO plus tier download, the same way that we've seen like Mario Kart and Animal Crossing DLC be
Hmm.
in the past. That it be a standalone app that doesn't just have its own level of communicating with games, but also would have Pokemon Home integration. Absolute copium would be if it also had Stadium connectivity.
There was a little bit of smoke there, right? Wasn't like the disclaimer on one of the Japanese trailers for Stadium got rid of the
Yeah, that was some
thing.
some very small text at the bottom of the screen that
Hmm.
said not compatible with Game Boy Color or something, and then that's mysteriously been gone as of the latest trailer. So whether that is whether that's just an editing thing, because we've also seen that before,
Hmm.
um, or if it is a like uh, full on upgrade, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So, what is your excitement level at for this right now?
I'm pretty excited. I think that no matter what comes out, it's going to be positive. It's going to be good. Um, I'm really curbing myself for the Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color stuffs to not happen. I
Hmm.
reckon that if there's any, um, I'm keeping some held back, but mostly I'm just like I would want to see the Sword and Shield. No, not Sword and Shield. The Violet Scarlet DLC. Why have I been talking about Sword and Shield all this time? What am I doing? No, I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to the Scarlet and Violet DLC.
Yeah, me too. I think as cool as it would be to get those games on NSO, because I love like just doing a run of Kanto, usually in Fire
Hmm.
Red, but those games are great. I would be very happy to see them added to the service, even if it was like, yeah, we're getting Stadium, which we know is coming, and then it's like they showed the Pokemon trading card game coming down the line. If they drop
Hmm.
that, like that'd be cool still too. But I'm excited. Regardless, we're gonna see what's next for Scarlet and Violet. I haven't played that game in a couple months, so would be happy to have a reason to get back in there. And as we wrap up, my last question for you: Dream pie in the sky, get hyped, MVP moment announcement. What would it be for you?
It would be a Legends game, either set in Johto, because I think that they've got a lot of really interesting history back there,
Hmm.
or one set in the region of X and Y that delves back into what's up with Az, the immortal of the Pokemon world. Like, how did we get no more of that? Why are people okay with being told that this dude's immortal? And we're just like, okay, yeah, we see him 1,000 years later.
Hmm. I mean, you stole my choice with what would probably be called Legend Celebi, so I'll do a
Hmm.
ridiculous one. They're canonizing the Pokemon War, and it's in a brand new game, and it's going to be in Omega Force Dynasty Warriors type game where you're just a
Ooh, a
Pokemon fighting.
Pokemon Muso would be
Yeah,
amazing.
that's my bet. So
Oh, I mean, they've done a Pokemon Tekken before. Why can't they do a Pokemon Muso?
yeah, you just got to pick the right
Oh,
right characters, you know.
God, the absolute just people trying to create the roster
Yeah.
of what a that would be ludicrous.
Yeah, and then they can use that marketing of like one of the player characters, let's say just because for the sake of combat, Gallade, right? You got like the arm sword
Hmm.
things, or like a scyther mowing down 200 Bidoofs. That's marketing, you know. That's
Yeah, no, people would lap that up. People would be
yeah,
wanting to purchase giant posters of that scene.
exactly. So
Oh man, yeah. I think actually a Muso Pokemon would be really up there.
well, hey, we've seen that collab happen before. Who's to say it won't happen again? We'll see what happens when the Pokemon Presents goes down Monday morning. This is up well before that, so if you would like to watch along, myself and Stretch will be viewing the presentation bright and early, 9 a.m. sharp. So join us for reactions to that, and probably a little bit
Yeah,
of
come hang out.
yeah, breakdown, discussion, analysis afterwards as we come down from the hype of seeing Scyther murder a bunch of Batoops. Uh,
Yes.
so thank you for tuning in. Have a good Pokemon day, and we will see you later.